right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 557 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am Via Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. I did say I was going to talk about some Georgia Southern football, but I'm going to put that on the back burner probably till next week. I said I had a preview of Jalen White. I was going to talk about him, but like I said, I'm probably going to put that on the back burner till next week because next week is the spring game. It's going to be that Saturday, the 22nd. So it's 10 days from now. I'm going to talk about that, pretty much talk a lot of Georgia Southern throughout that entire week so we can get up the speed on Georgia Southern. Talk some more about Atlanta Falcons because I know what y'all see on the screen is weird. I am a Georgia Southern Eagle. I love the school. I love the team. And I got some Bulldogs on the screen if you're looking at it on YouTube and Rumble. I think that Nolan Smith is the pick at number 8. Maybe I could be 2 for 2, y'all. I was right about Drake London last year. I thought they was going to pick him. I'm going with Nolan Smith to be the pick at number 8. And I got Keely Ringo up here as well. I'm going to talk about him in a second. So let's go ahead and get into it. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor. Well, I am on Anchor, but you can find me on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Also, y'all go over there now and jump on the website. The website is firstandframerates.com. Firstandframerates.com. That's going to be the hub where everything takes place, where it goes to the podcast, YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing blogs over there, doing all that good stuff for you guys. So hopefully you guys will check that out. It's going to be a fantastic time over there. I'm just starting it up, so it's still kind of bare bones, but please bear with me. It's going to be a one-man show over there. I'm going to be doing some blogs and writing some reviews, doing all that other good stuff when it comes to Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. So go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback or whatever the case may be. Let's get right into this because there's a reason why I got these 2 Georgia Bulldogs up here. And I know it's going to sound crazy because this is something I was kind of against, but looking at the way things are shaping up for the Atlanta Falcons, it's going to make sense. Trust me. I know we loaded up on defense, and a lot of people are looking at, we touched on everything except for the running back. We touched on the quarterback situation. We got most of our linemen back, our offensive linemen back. We bolstered up on defense, that front 7 and the secondary completely. Don't get me wrong. We've done some things. The wide receiver position, the tight end position, we touched on every spot except for the running back. I don't think Bijan Robinson is going to be the pick. That's just my personal opinion, and it's okay to be wrong. No, write this down, everybody who does this type of content or just does hot takes. Okay, it's okay to be wrong, but just make sense with what you're saying. And hopefully, what I say makes sense, even though I may not be correct. I don't think Bijan Robinson is the move. I don't think that he will be picked at number 8. I don't think Jalen Carter's going to be picked. I think Nolan Smith goes right. He goes along right exactly what the defensive coordinator wants for the Saints. From the Saints to the Falcons. Our new defensive coordinator, Nolan Smith is exactly the type of player that the defensive coordinator wants. And one thing that we've been struggling on a good bit was getting at the quarterback, creating havoc, causing more turnovers, getting things, manhandling, getting things done, manhandling guys on defense. Nolan Smith is going to add to that with all the other guys that we picked up, the Calais Campbells, the Caden Ellis, Adamaya, Grady Jarrett, Ebekete. Nolan Smith can do a little bit of everything. He can play linebacker. He can play edge rush. He can probably do a little bit of covering too. The dude is an athletic freak. It's like him and Troy Anderson together will be completely nasty. Him, Troy Anderson, and Lorenzo Carter, man. Caden Ellis, Lorenzo Carter. I mean, the linebacker corps is going to be nasty. You add him to it, you can bring him down, let him play when Calais is not in, vice versa. You got a dynamic player on defense. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Jalen Carter is who he is. He's like the most dynamic player or the best player that's on the Georgia roster, per se. A lot of people are saying that. But I think he does not. I ain't going to say he don't fit what we're doing. I just think that we kind of touched on what we're trying to do with that front 7 already. With Adamaya and other guys that we brought in. Nolan Smith is a hybrid. He's not the type of player that we need him for something. We need him for that. He can do pass rush. He can do a little bit of coverage. He can tackle all over the field. He's that guy that could do a little bit of everything. And you got two guys that could do that, like with him. And I would say he's a little bit more versatile than Troy Anderson because he can get at the quarterback. I'm not saying that Troy Anderson can't, but Troy Anderson he made himself into a bona fide linebacker. And for some cases, he looked like he could take the spot of that Mike linebacker because you see who we did not sign. And Rashaan Evans, we don't know where he is, And so I just don't know how that's going to play out. But I feel that this is the move. I think this is the move. I think this is the number 8 pick. And another reason why I say that because, and I know this is going to sound crazy because I've been kind of against it, but I got to face reality, guys. And I really see the logic behind this based on what the Falcons have done so far. He's a Georgia Bulldog. You're going to get that Georgia fan base to come in if you actually bring guys in from that, from that pipeline. We need fans to come to the stadium. Let's not kid ourselves. With this entire movement that we've been doing for the past 2 years, going 7-10 with the mediocre team, getting better with the salary cap that we have, and now we have a good team. In my opinion, on paper, it will behoove us to try to boost that enough to get a player that we could use, a player that's somewhat of a need, and a guy that's pretty much a hometown kid. The kid is from Savannah, Georgia. He's 4 hours away from Athens, 4 hours away. He grew up 4 hours away from Athens, 4 hours away from Atlanta. He's going to fit right at home, and it's just going to work out tremendously. I really feel that that's the move. So, not only are you getting a good player, you're getting a guy that's in-house, and you got a guy that's actually going to produce right away. I believe that Nolan Smith will produce right away. Unlike, nothing against Justin Fields, I just didn't feel like he would have been thrown to the fire with this team. It would have been a disaster. You see what's happening in Chicago, and don't tell me that Chicago's worse. Chicago's damn near in the same boat we were in 2 years ago. So I'm not trying to hear that. I'm just, no. I know a lot of people, and this is one reason why I don't want to talk about this because a lot of people get kind of sentimental when it comes to the Bulldogs. They feel like if you wore that Bulldogs uniform, you have to be an Atlanta Falcon. And you can't say nothing wrong about, these Bulldogs. Yeah, it's hard to say it now. These guys have been 2-time national champions. It's very hard to talk about. Even with me with the Georgia Southern, we used to pick on Georgia all the time. You couldn't win the big one. You choked, this, that, and the third. The only big win you really got was against Hawaii, but then you turn around and you lost against Alabama in the NFC Championship game. Don't even want to talk about the national title game. What Tua done. We clowned them, but now we really can't say nothing. And I gotta give the respect where the respect is deserved. These guys did what they do. They're the big brother school, but I don't like them. I used to like the Bulldogs. Full disclosure, I used to root for them, but I didn't realize, and I'm going too far with this, but I'm gonna say this before I go to Keely Ringo. I didn't realize how bad it was when Georgia Bulldog fans used to jump on Georgia Southern fans. I thought it blew my mind because I really didn't post like that on Twitter at the time. But once I did that, and I know you shouldn't let fans run you away, but at some point, I'm not going to let a school, talk down to my team worse than our rivals Appalachian State does and still be cool with them. But I'll just leave it with that. Now, let's get into Keely Ringo. I think the Falcons could pick him up. We do have the 44th pick in the second round. We are somewhat in need of a cornerback still. I know we just signed Jeff Okudah, but I just think this is another need that we have. You can't have enough cornerbacks. And I think that this would be an excellent pickup. And I know people saying, well, why don't we go running back at this point? Why don't we go offensive line at this point? I'm going to be honest. And I know this is going to sound crazy. I think the offensive line is good enough to get us through. I know that sounds crazy, but I think the offensive line is good enough to get us through. We did okay last year. We didn't do too bad. So I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe we get some offensive linemen later in the draft. I don't know. We got 9 picks, I think, so, or something like that. But No, actually, we got two. We got a first, a second, 2 4s, and 2 7s. First, second, 2 4s, and 2 7s. Is that right? Let me see. Yeah. First, second, third, 2 4s and 2 7s. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We look like I got 7 picks. Okay. But we did trade one. I'm all over the place. Sorry, but I think that Kelee Ringo is the pick right here. Jeff Okudah is still going to have to earn it, but you also have to understand that there's a possibility that Jeff Okudah may not be here at the end of the next season. Also, you have to understand that Casey Hayward may not be here at the end of the next season because Casey Hayward was on a 2-year deal. You also have Jeff Okudah on a 1-year deal. So at the end of this season, these guys could be gone. You put Kelee Ringo right there in that slot to go ahead and have him ready to go. And one thing I will say, one thing about Arthur Smith, and a lot of people don't really think about this. Arthur Smith is not really keen on putting rookies in the fire right away. So to have Ringo wait, unless if he really outshines and does, something wild and crazy to him to get that spot, it's going to be a situation where he may sit or have limited playing time. I don't think he's going to be a starter right away. Same thing with Nolan Smith. It's going to be so much rotation. He's not going to be on the field, 90% of the time. So not only that, you got 2 Georgia Bulldogs here that the Falcons can easily pick up, and you're going to put butts in the seats. Trust me, people that love this team in Athens will come to the game to watch these 2 guys on top of all the other moves that we made. So we have to really understand the economic side of it and the plug and play side of it. You put these guys on the field with Falcons uniforms on. We've been saying it for a long time that it's been getting to get kind of sickening where you want to get butts in the seats, but you have a fan base that wants a certain, type of players on the team. You get Georgia Bulldogs on the Atlanta Falcons, it's going to cause some type of interest. I mean, it just is. And I will leave you guys in saying this. Let's just stir the pot really quick and just say they do get these 2. The 4th pick, the one from Tennessee that we got, the Julio Jones, the Julio Jones pick. We pick up Stetson Bennett. What y'all think about that? I know this sounds crazy coming from me, but what do y'all think about that? If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think about these things that I've just said about the team. Maybe I'm going out on a limb. I know I'm talking crazy. I'm not saying something that's normal on here because I find the Georgia Bulldogs, the Falcons pipeline kind of crazy because we hear about it a lot. But when you really look at it, in this particular situation, I don't think it's a really bad idea. Smith, Ringo, and I just threw it out there because it just crossed my mind. You go get Stetson Bennett in the 4th round and you really make Desmond Ridder work. I'm on YouTube and Rumble, also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. Check out the website, firstandframerates.com. Check that out. Go over there. I'm probably trying to put something over there where you guys could be a member where you can get like daily emails or a blog or something like that where I'll give you a heads up on some things that I think about around the league. I really want to do that. I want to turn this thing into something big. Some people, start something and they don't, they really don't want to do it because it puts time and work in. I'm really cautious about this, but I'm really making those steps to make that happen. But it's going to be baby steps. As long as you guys continue to support, I'll be able to keep on moving forward with it, and hopefully that works out. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys once again. Let me know what you guys think about this show. I think this is a pretty interesting one. I think it is. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Y'all be blessed. Peace.